Sunday and Fuge, which one should you pull for? I feel like this is a pretty simple answer based on your account and your preferences overall. Starting off with Sunday, he is a hypercarry support with a focus on summons. As of right now, we have Topaz, Linkshot, and Jinyan for summons, but I'm sure with the new Remembrance Path and Remembrance MC, we'll be getting more summon units in the future. If you're someone who's interested in summons, I highly recommend you pull for Sunday. He's most likely going to be the equivalent of Robin, but for summons. He not only gives crit damage buffs, but he has a 100% action advance forward on his skill, which is absolutely diabolical, as Sparkle gives a 50% action advance forward. Not only is it 100%, but it affects the unit's summon as well. So in a sense, you can pack up your Bronya, and if you get Sunday, your Sparkle as well. Mind you, we're still unaware of his major traces at the time, but his ult provides energy to one unit. Pair him with the new relic set, the Relived Ordeal, and Sunday will be beefing up your hypercarry unit along with their summon. Quickly recapping Sunday with the information we know, his skill provides 100% action advance forward plus a damage percent buff to one unit, and if they have a summon, that action advance forward will apply to them as well, and the damage buff that he provides will be even higher. Note that the action advance will not work on other Harmony units. His ult provides crit damage and energy to one unit, and his technique will provide his teammates with a buff of an undisclosed type. Sunday's kit is already looking to be extremely strong, and it's no doubt that many of the Remembrance units, if they are summons, are going to want Sunday. Now, as we all know, the meta in HSR goes by extremely fast. It's more than likely that the summon meta will take over and dominate more than half of version 3. So if you like meta units, then I highly recommend you pull Sunday. Even if you don't want to pull for a summon DPS, Sunday will also be very viable for hypercarry units, meaning characters like Jin Liu, Blade, or the returning general can all be great for him. Now mind you, we don't have a dedicated summon DPS except for the general, so I'm sure we'll get more in the future that are a lot stronger. However, don't feel pressure to pull for Sunday on this banner, as you might pull Sunday for summon meta, but you don't really like any of these summon DPS units. You can always wait for his rerun after you picked up a DPS that you like, as Robin had an insanely fast rerun period, so the same could be said for Sunday. If you like him, pick him up. If you're on the fence about it, then maybe you should wait until after you see the DPS units. No matter what, he's going to be a very strong unit that won't hurt your account, as he'll still be usable for non-summon characters. Now onto Fuge. In my eyes, you would want to pull Fuge for mainly one reason, and that's the area where she excels in: Super Break. However, Super Break players are in a bit of a weird spot. Since the announcement of the Remembrance MC, we don't know the level that they'll be at. And with the new summon meta coming, there is a chance that Remembrance MC could be insanely strong just like Harmony MC, or it could just be straight up trash. If Remembrance MC is trash, then I feel like you don't have to pull for Fuge, especially if you're a Firefly main, but if you play Boot Hill or Rappa, she'll really be worth it. I'll get into the why a bit later, but if Remembrance MC is really cracked for the summon meta and you want to use them with Sunday, then of course you wouldn't be able to use Harmony MC, and that's where the other dedicated Super Break support comes in, which is Fuge. It is very unfortunate that we don't know how vital Remembrance MC is going to be. As of right now, we just have to play it by ear, since we are getting Sunday, and Sunday could be like the Rodney of Break, where he greatly helps it, but doesn't enable it. Considering summons as of right now just rely on damage and don't need an enabler, I think we'll be okay. So if you want to use your summons and you're not pulling for Sunday and you're going with Remembrance MC, then you should consider Fuge if you still want to use Super Break. The TLDR, if you want to use both summons and Super Break, then you should most likely pull a Fuge just in case Remembrance MC is vital to summons. Now we'll go over what we know about Fuge's kit. Fuge is a fire nihility unit. Her skill targets one ally and provides them with a buff. This will increase the unit's break effect and give them the Foxian Prayer buff. When an ally has her Foxian Prayer, whenever they attack, there is a chance to reduce the enemy's defense. As of right now, we don't know the chance of this happening or how much defense reduction is applied. Additionally, when Fuge uses her skill, this will change her basic attack, causing it to become enhanced and seemingly do a bit of AoE, but it seemed very minuscule. Her ult will do fire damage and will reduce the toughness of enemies regardless of weakness type, which is very helpful for breaking enemies. Now it seems like this could be her talent or a bonus trait, but whenever Fuge is on the battlefield, she'll inflict enemies with the Cloud Flame Luster state. It looks just to be Exo Toughness and they're calling it something else, which is incredibly beneficial for super breakers like Rappa and Boot Hill, and even E2 Firefly. And finally we have her technique, which will daze enemies out of combat, and once battle has started, Fuge will advance forward and reduce the defensive enemies by a certain amount. So Fuge is a super break support that buffs your unit's break, helps break enemies, reduces the enemy's defense, and grants Exo Toughness. First off, Fuge will be beneficial for you if you plan on using the new Remembrance MC for summons alongside Super Break. Now of course, HSR doesn't only have Super Break and Summon. Many of us have Follow-Up Attack, which doesn't use any MC, Hyper Carry, or Dot. So this really only applies if you wish to use both Summon and Super Break in the same game modes. Enter Fuge, as she will be the ideal unit for you since she'll take over Harmony MC's slot. Now one key point is to note that as of right now, we don't know if Fuge converts break damage to super break. That is why Harmony MC is so crucial to any break team, as it grants that high conversion. I believe Fuge will have a similar trait that will allow her to convert the damage into super break, just like Harmony MC, because without it, the damage is just straight up not good. So if you plan on using both MCs, you would want to replace your Harmony MC with Fuge. Now, if you don't care about Super Break and you don't plan on using it, you don't plan on pulling for Firefly, Rappa, or Boot Hill, then of course, Fuge has no value to you. On the flip side, if you're someone who wants to continue using Super Break and don't care about summon meta at all, then in my opinion, if you're a Boot Hill or Rappa main, then you should really consider getting Fuge. Now, Firefly mains do benefit from Fuge as well, as she does increase break effect and can reduce the toughness of enemies regardless of weakness. But Firefly really won't have that issue. However, Firefly's premium team, which is her, Harmony MC, Runmei, and Linkshot, is already perfect. Harmony MC is able to delay weakness broken enemies. That is something incredibly valuable for Firefly. We don't know if Fuge can do this or not, but I doubt, since that would be extremely broken. Harmony MC increases break, gives higher super break damage in single target scenarios, and delays the enemy. Firefly also has some of the highest scores amongst MLC and Apoc Shadow, and with us seemingly about to transition to the new meta, I think Firefly's premium team is perfectly fine. So Firefly mains really don't need to feel pressured to pull for Fuge. But Boot Hill and Rappa mains, Fuge is going to be really strong for y'all, as she's going to do a few things that Harmony MC can. First, she can reduce the toughness regardless of the weakness type, meaning she's going to help break enemies a lot faster for your characters. Firefly doesn't really need this, as she can already implant fire weakness for the entire fight, and additionally she'll have either Linkshot or Gallagher, both who are fire units that deal high amounts of break damage. Boot Hill can implant physical weakness, but is usually not paired with other physical units that can help him break, and Rappa has toughness reduction in her kit, but can struggle if enemies aren't imaginary weak. Thus, having an extra unit that can break enemies faster is really beneficial. But Fuge granting Exo Toughness is extremely valuable for both of them, as more breaks can help ramp up their damage a lot faster, and it'll really help with Rappa gaining more energy. In a sense, Rappa mains especially want Fuge, and so do Boot Hill mains. Now, I mentioned Firefly E2 earlier, and if you do break an enemy's Exo Toughness, that will trigger her E2, and she'll gain her second turn if it's not on cooldown. However, it's really not that necessary to pull a Fuge solely for that. I also want to mention Acheron teams with Fuge. While she is a fire nihility unit, which is what Acheron runs, I think we should really wait and see Fuge's entire kit to see if she can even be viable for Acheron. She does apply debuffs, but we don't know the consistency of it, so we will have to wait and see for that. But it is possible that Fuge could be okay for Acheron. TLDR, if you want to continue break, and if you're a Boot Hill Rappa main, then Fuge will be great for you. Firefly mains, I think, should just focus on getting her premium team, which is Harmony MC, Runmei, and Linkshot, and going from there. Just remember, all of this is information on their incomplete kits, as we don't have their full talents available. In summary, Sunday will be very good for Summon and Hyper Carry, and if you like him, get him, he will be great. If you're on the fence, I'd say wait for the DPSs to see how they are and to see which ones you like. If you want to evolve your Boot Hill and Rappa teams, then get Fuge. Firefly mains can really skip out on Fuge and just focus on getting her already established premium team. And if you want both units, then I really recommend just getting lucky. After all, both Sunday and Fuge only do take 2 pulls to get. In my personal opinion, I think Sunday would be the better pickup for this banner right now, just because he's not only going to be great for summons, but hypercarry units, so he's just a lot more versatile in where he can go. I hope you win your 50/50s, and I'll see you in the next one.